Great to be back. Hoops Capital Pod, brought to you by Harvey Norman and powered by Road. We're excited to have our listeners back with us. And for those of you unaware, you can also tune into this bad boy with some visuals on this Kings and Flames YouTube channel. Any complaints about this podcast going forward, you can slide them into our guest's DMs. He's with us here. Next shooting star, superstar, Alex Toohey. Great to have you in the building, man. How are you?
I'm good. Thanks for having me, guys.
Whoa, you sound excited.
It's a pleasure. Pleasure to have you here in this little kingdom we're building.
Thank you.
Into the Hoops Capital.
I've heard a lot. I've heard a lot of things about the podcast.
What have you heard?
I've heard it's very informative. I think
Right.
people come out with a lot of learning.
Okay.
Yeah,
good.
right.
It's like School of the Air sort of thing, isn't it? We'll teach you.
I don't know what they could possibly be learning, but
Mate, Toohey, there's a lot of raps, a lot of PR rapping around you at the moment. What's going on? Who's your PR agent?
I actually don't have one.
Don't?
I might need after all the requests I'm about to get coming through about the podcast, though.
about to be slammed after this, man.
Filter them.
Well, I saw a post during the week from the NBL and they called you perfect. Did you see that?
I didn't see that, but that makes sense why someone at training just kept calling me Mr. Perfect yesterday.
what
I
it
can't
was?
remember who it was, but
Yeah.
that makes a lot of sense.
That sounds like it's coming in from the fake news cycle.
Yeah, I reckon so. It's coming out of the NBL. But no, there was the rugby player, John Eales, former Wallaby captain, goal kicker extraordinaire, and his nickname was Nobody because they used to say he was perfect and nobody's perfect. So we might have you might be wearing that one for a little while as well, mate.
Be careful.
We'll see. But it's good to have you here, mate. It's great to have you here.
What'd you do today, man? I reckon I have one guess for our listeners only.
Do that.
The young man's come in with a Bridge Climb Sydney hat, which comes in with a perfect clip on the back, so you don't lose. So you
Where
don't
do you put
lose the
that?
hat.
In your ear or
They kind of like strap it onto this big bungee cord on the back here.
right?
And you can get sunglasses as well if you'd like.
And you didn't.
I didn't.
Is
Well,
that your first
should've.
time up there?
First time. Yeah.
Run
So
us
you
through
grew
it.
up in Canberra, right?
Yeah.
If there was a bridge climb in Canberra, what would it be climbing?
Ooh, I say it's got to be Parliament House.
Okay.
I think that's a real big structure.
5-minute walk. I reckon.
You can climb one of our bridges as well, but it's just a flat 20-meter skip across the pond. But
What about the Carillion? Maybe, or the tower up on
Tower,
the
Telstra
hill?
Tower.
Telstra Tower.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Telstra Tower, you just walk around the top.
yeah.
Belconnen Macca's.
Walk around Macca's, yeah.
I went
AIS.
to uni in Canberra. Do you know that?
UC?
Yeah, UC. Yeah.
Together, did you go together?
Yeah.
No, I didn't.
No?
You didn't go there? Good town, man. Good town.
It's
Yeah.
legit.
Yeah, it is good town.
It gets a bad rap.
Yeah,
From who?
unfairly.
I
Everyone
think
outside of Canberra.
everyone outside of Canberra, because it doesn't have a beach, it's not like a massive city. It's not like a major city, I guess you could call it.
A lack of vibes. is what you're
Yeah,
suggesting.
that's what people think. But I was
Oh.
from there, so I didn't know any different. But coming to Sydney, I can see how people.
Oh, so you're off Canberra too.
No, I'm
Now
still,
that
I'm
you've
still a
left.
Canberra boy. I'm still a Canberra boy.
I
and
see what
love-
everyone was talking about.
Yeah, no, I'm not coming back.
No, I definitely love Canberra. Always go back. Family's still there,
Yeah.
so
Where are the vibes though, man? What's the secret sauce for those Canberra haters?
I think
Yeah.
the south side. I'm from the south side. I think.
Really?
Yeah, Canberra's growing north. South is a bit older. North's where like the main city is, and they got a light rail or a train coming in.
A light rail.
It's the biggest talk of the town. We get a train coming.
That's
Um,
awesome, man. I'm happy for him.
Yeah, that's
The best
biggest
feature
thing.
of Canberra is the fact that every little suburb has a place called a shops. You know, and the little strip mall where you go and get your stuff and
Yeah.
your Canberra shops, or you name the suburb. There's shops. They have
Yeah.
shops there. Yeah, it's pretty good.
Well, it's exciting, man. Hopefully that South Side light rail comes sooner rather than later,
Absolutely.
and then everyone in Australia will have to bite their tongue when they're.
So let's
Speaking
rock through
down
the
on
fashion
Canberra.
statement today, mate. I'm a big appreciator of the purple Hawaiian shirt. I'm very grateful for that. Thank you. Thank you for putting that out there.
No worries. Very inspired by yourself.
Thank you. That's what I like to do. Is a sartorial inspiration is what I'm seeking in my
Yeah.
life. It's fantastic. Clearly, it's not working with Jordi. What are you lumberjacking? What's this?
This is the Dubs clothing number, who have
Yeah.
taken very good care of me. They're the bee's knees.
Hang on, are you claiming you got a sponsor now?
Just a personal shout out, shameless. Sorry.
Jeez.
I didn't say anything,
I'm
but this
going
is
the
brought
golf
to you by
look
Dubs.
today. I'm going the golf.
Yeah,
golf
you
golf
look
official look. Today.
much classier than normal. You're normally in a Hawaiian number as well.
I know. I had a meeting today in the city with a very important individual, so I had to actually get dressed up properly. So I am capable of it occasionally.
Well, the proof's in the pudding.
Exactly
Looking
right.
sharp with the Masters
Exactly
bucket
right.
hat.
That's a flex. Definitely, that's definitely a flex.
We aren't sponsored by the Masters yet.
We're not. No, I don't think they sponsor anyone. I think you sponsor them.
That was the meeting you had, right? You were talking to the Masters about trying to get
well,
them on board.
because I played the Masters 5 or 6 times. They want me.
Yeah.
To come back.
Alumni program.
Yeah, of course. Anyway, so you got the Masters, then you got the Next Stars. It's kind of the two opposite end of the extreme. So do you get a tattoo or something as a Next Star? Is it like an elite club now amongst you
brand?
guys?
Yeah, they shave your head and they put a barcode at the back.
Do they?
Yeah. And
You
that's what
act up?
the scouts, they come and they scan the barcode and it's your height, your weight, everything's listed.
Do they check your teeth?
No, they check your, I don't know. They do like some test or
Right.
something.
Give us a smile.
Contractor.
Nice.
Open wide.
As league bound.
Yeah.
So Next Stars now, but so you tell us about you and the basketball journey, and just give us a little bit of background on you because it's not that long ago, given that you're all of 14 years old. So it's great to be working with young children again. It's fantastic, I must say.
There's a lot of years you weren't allowed to. Now
That's
we're back on. Yeah.
Exactly right. I like these new laws that allow you to exploit children.
Absolutely. Yeah, it is weird because in the terms of basketball career, like, I guess typically it would be a long time ago, but in my circumstances, it was pretty recent. To what I remember, I kind of always played basketball a little bit. The NBL wasn't really on TV as much in my household, or maybe just during that time, so I didn't really watch it growing up.
No cannons, mate. No Canberra
Yeah,
cannons.
nah, unfortunately. They had the Canberra Gunners, which is where my brother eventually played for, but it was probably my brother that first kind of got me into it, and he'd just play at school, and whenever in the backyard, he'd be shooting baskets, so I kind of just tagged along with that, and then older sister played a bit as well. Mum and dad never played, but mum was my first basketball coach, actually, so she claims that all the time, which she's very proud of, and then kind of just kept at it a little bit, just club basketball, school basketball, and then maybe 12, 13, around then, there was a national camp at the AIS, so kind of drove into that, and that was the first kind of high performance environment.
Were you
training.
invited or you just turned up?
They kind of invite a few
Okay,
people,
right.
and sometimes it's just a camp for development, otherwise, and then sometimes it's a trial for like an under 15s team, and that's what it was at the time. And I made this team, which was awesome, but unfortunately I broke my wrist, so I couldn't get to play, and then that was a bit disappointing. But like fast forward a year and a half, the NBL COVID was going on, so the NBL was kind of locked down a little bit, so they
You were
couldn't.
13 and a half years old.
No, I wasn't. This is a few years later, so this is like.
I was going to say now, I'm aging out real fast here.
No,
Yeah.
this is when I was 15, so I'd been
Oh, that makes me feel better.
Like
Yeah.
That's terrific.
15, no, 16. I'm going to
Feels
go
like
16.
yesterday.
Recently, yeah.
Yeah.
But got invited to the Centre of Excellence in Canberra, where you live there, play basketball, as Jordi would know. It's a very professional environment. And then my first few months there, the COVID was going on a little bit, so the NBL players couldn't play in one of the Boomers games. So they kind of basically picked all these 17, 18-year-olds to play in this game in New Zealand. So
That was in Brisbane, right?
it was in Cairns against New Zealand.
Cairns.
So we went up there, and yeah, we had the time of our lives. But it was funny, just like how young the whole team was. I think it's the youngest Boomers team ever, and it's crazy that it's technically a Boomers team, but it was just like an under-19s team pretty much. So that was the first time I actually represented Australia, and it was when I was like 16 with the national team technically, which was pretty funny.
It's scary.
Someone had to.
Yeah.
And
So,
you
yeah.
pivot that into some Hoop Summit action right before, how that was after that? Or
Yeah, so that was kind of early in my time at the NBA Academy in the Centre of Excellence, and then stayed there for 2 years, played in the NBL One East, bunch of training, and then towards the last 6 months of my time there, that's when the Hoop Summit came around, and yeah, that was awesome. Going to America, getting a bunch of free clothes was a
I was
big
gonna say,
bonus.
how was the swag? It was all right.
Oh, unreal. I only played like 6 minutes, but I got so many clothes. It was worth it anyway. And like meeting new people and seeing all that kind of stuff.
So
Yeah.
not a lot of opportunity. That wasn't exactly what parlayed into some college interest. What was that? How did that drum up?
Yeah, so college was kind of. So I committed to Gonzaga before that. I committed after a tournament we had when I was end of year 11. And that was in America in Atlanta. It was an NBA Academy Games where a few American teams and we had our Australian guys. And that's kind of where I first got on the scene and started getting a few offers from that. And then like thought about that for a while, ended up committing to Gonzaga and then did the Hoop Summit and stuff after that.
Right, so that was after.
Yeah.
Right. Obviously, you didn't end up at Gonzaga. So how was that? Obviously, that would have been a difficult process, but how did that unfold for you, and how come now you're here? Why do we have to now deal with you?
Thanks, Jordi. No, it was hectic. So I committed reasonably early in the cycle. So I think I committed like at least more than 8, kind of maybe like a year before when I was supposed to head over. So there's a lot of time in between committing, visiting. So I visited before I committed. So I went to the school and it was really nice. Like the facilities are unreal. You would have been there coming from St. Mary's, played them a few times.
Yep.
I'm sure they'll have a few stories about that, but like facilities are unreal. Love the coach. Yeah, everything was sick. And then there's a long period of time where just corresponding with them, talking with them. And I think some things kind of shifted with the team. Some adjustments went on. And then by the time I was supposed to go over, we kind of were still 100% in. And then some things shifted. We talked to a few people and some things that were initially going to be looked at in my position and some stuff on the team shifted. And then talking to some of the staff, I kind of felt that it wasn't going to be suited to me as much as it was when I first decided to commit there. And then got in touch with the Kings and the Next Star program as well after that. And they had, like you've obviously seen Giddy and stuff, I've been seeing that go on, which was cool. And then the opportunity that came up at Sydney, I kind of couldn't really say no to. So that was big for me. And I think the Next Stars program is great, but I was just big on knowing what team I'd be going to and where I'd be fitting in and how that'd all work. So I think it was a great coincidence that Sydney is close to Canberra, close to home, and the whole organisation has just been great working with them the whole time. And then, yeah, here we are.
Here we are.
100%.
Doing a pod.
And all those letters I wrote to Gonzaga shitting all over you worked.
Yeah.
Got him.
He's a bad kid. He
terrible
failed
person.
school.
Awful things. I made up every bad story I could about you. Wrote
Found
so
all your
many
old
letters to
tweets.
them. That's
Yeah.
right. So clearly my cutting plan worked. It's fantastic. No, mate, it's good to have you here. But Jordi, the Next Stars program is really, we talked about it on the pod with Jalen, you know, and it's growing legs now, and you know, but it's interesting to me that there's a huge amount of focus on it. How does that roll from a mid-veteran or a player of some seniority now? Is it a good thing to be
Calling you an old
take
man.
the focus off?
No, middle.
Hang on, well, you just told us you were 14 during COVID, and COVID was last week. So come on, mate, we're all getting old. But you know, what is that like for you guys? Is it within the playing group, and generally, what do you think across the league?
It is the first time the Next Star program really feels like it's got some serious legs, I reckon. Like, it's obviously been quite the pathway for a few players to the big show. Now just about every team has one. I mean, I'm interested to see how Toohey's handling it, but for us it's awesome. Like, you have cool people coming through to have a look at this guy, and he's a good guy. So I think that goes a long way. Like, I think it would be a different question if he had
red fag in the house.
Bit of a red personality, but it's it's great for us. It's a lot of outside noise, though, not that I'm dealing with, but like, it's a media circus.
Yeah.
Like,
you feel it, Alex?
How are you dealing with it?
Yeah.
I do acknowledge it's there, but I kind of just like look at it and then just kind of move on. Nothing like, even if it's great stuff they're saying or bad stuff, try and just acknowledge it and then move on.
You obviously you're not blind, you're not deaf, so it's a factor. But look, this is sport, man. You're only as good as your last go, and that's you got to stay in the moment, I guess. It's not I'm not here to give anyone advice about that stuff, but I think it's a great grounding if you're getting that sort of coverage and exposure. It's a great grounding to be able to switch that off. You learn to switch that off, and that's what it's going to be key for, I think.
Did anything prep you for, this journey that you're on? And every game there's some scout from America and deciding where you are in a pecking order, and it changes based, like, games that get so reactive. And like, do you just ignore it? Like, how do you?
Yeah, it's interesting. It's something that I kind of, to get to where I want to get, I understand that's a part of it, but like a few years ago, I kind of just didn't understand the whole business side of it and how intricate it is between ranking players and the things that matter, and like how centimeters on their height or wingspan can define where you are and all this kind of stuff. So that's like, learning that is really fascinating to me, and I'm just kind of a curious person, so it's interesting to see how they go about that thing. And then I think just like, it's hard to not notice the scouts and the kind of where people see you like ranked, and then if they think you're going to be here next year, if they think you're like overrated, if you're not performing well. It's hard to put that away, but I think the biggest thing is just like focus on one day at a time and understand that if you don't have a good day tomorrow, the next week won't be the same if you don't perform. So I think like the whole system that we have in the Kings has been great, and guys like Jordi and the older guys like Brucey and stuff have been super cool, and just talking to them, and they're just so easygoing that it kind of helps me, and kind of any nerves or pressure I was feeling kind of eases that off for sure.
Thanks, man. You haven't seen anything yet.
No, we're going to pile on now. We're going to really pile on. No, that's good, mate. It's as I said, I said in the pod a couple of weeks ago, I initially, in the first years of the program, not sure about this, but I think the fact that the spread of talent across the league now and is there, and I'm curious about one thing. When you go out on court, who we got this week? We got Melbourne United. So you're going to give Huck Porty a kick in the arse along the way? You try to get a point on him just to make a point, or
they've given you the list of names
Yeah,
and you need to knock off one by one.
Yeah, I'll like, obviously anyone you see across from you, you're going to try and go at.
But another next star's got to have a little bit of extra in it.
Yeah, there might be a little extra there for sure. And then obviously being Melbourne United, a great team, it's definitely going to be an intense game.
It will be. It will be. It's another scene. This will be your first time down there?
Yeah, first time down there actually.
Yeah, it's a zoo. It is Taronga Park Zoo's gone to Melbourne. Yeah. Seriously, it's crazy down there, but it's going to be a great game. And so so just to recap on the weekend, we had a couple of wins. We sort of kept rolling. It's pretty good. Happy with it all.
We turned a corner there at the end. What do you make of that? That's kind of our first heart stopper, so to speak.
Yes.
You
should try being where I sit.
Yeah.
How'd you feel with that? Like I've been privy to a few times the Kings have done that, but that was probably your first encounter of, all right, we'd probably not got that team exactly where we want them down the stretch, but we turned it into a good result.
Yeah, I think there's something about, I don't know if it's just the Sydney Kings or playing at home, but there's always just that feeling that like we're going to be fine. Like looking at the scoreboard, we'll be fine. Like something's going to happen. And then you get a little bit closer and it's a little bit, and then I remember I was looking at Jalen on the bench, and I was like, I kind of gave him a little nod, and he was like, yeah, like Jalen Galloway was just there. He didn't give me any reaction, but I just saw in his eyes.
He's not even played it. He said he's all right.
Yeah.
He's going to be all right.
And then, I kind of like, we do those kind of drills at training all the time, being down X or up X. So I think that's what I went into. I went into the mode of like, we've done this before. It's a game, but we've also done the drills that have put us into this situation. So I kind of had that trust, and then obviously some big plays, some big moments, DJ with a big steal, and then, it was big time getting that.
They were great. Brisbane were tough. They're turning into something. They're a problem. Yeah, they're gonna be a arm wrestle. Whoever comes up against those guys, they're well coached and they'll find their way. I think we got a little lucky personally. We'll take that one. It's an ugly W, but we like them anyway. They'll
count the same.
You bet.
How do you feel being on the court versus off the court in those crunch time moments?
As in, like, on the bench?
Like, I'm coming from a place of, if I'm out there, it just feels like another basketball game, 0-0, whatever it is. If
But
I'm
if you're
watching
it, yeah.
like I wasn't out there closing it out last game,
Yeah.
heart's racing,
Yeah.
feeling like a little lightheaded at
Yeah.
it's like it's hard not to be out there.
Yeah. No, absolutely. I think,
It's nerve-wracking.
yeah, I think basketball players are kind of designed as soon as you cross the line, you're just in game mode. So it is weird. Even if you're watching other NBL games or just on the bench of the games, you see things a bit differently, and the emotion's taken out of it. Obviously, the adrenaline's still there, but it's not the game time reactions in that sense. But yeah, there is something about watching other games and just being on the bench that's a little bit more nervous. But as soon as you get on the court, you're back into it and locked in.
Yeah.
Now, we pride ourselves on not too much X's and O's, so we're digging in there. But let's talk about you a little bit. So it's well reported now, the military family. What was that like? Was it like a regiment at home? Was it military at home as well? Or did your mum and dad go to work and then come home and relax and let you run wild?
Yeah, it's a great question. I think there is there's a big thought that I was in this like regimented home, but to me, my childhood was so chill.
I wanted to be regimented. I want you to go, like I used to make my
Wake up at
bed and I
6
have to
a.m.
bounce a 20-cent coin off it. To make
Mum
sure
would be so upset if I said that we had all these like laws in the house. You had to do
make
this.
it up.
You
Let's
had
make it
But
up.
quite you did.
Nah, yeah, I wish. No, we had a chill upbringing. Mum and dad had to travel a little bit with work. My dad, I lived in Belgium, in Europe for 3 years actually. So dad got posted over there. So
How are the pommes frites? Good. You like those?
oh, unreal.
Yeah, they're good, aren't they?
Unreal.
Belgium can do potato chips. Don't you worry.
100%.
Yeah.
But yeah, like time of my life with the travel and the kind of opportunities they've been able to present to me.
Yeah.
But I had such a fun childhood. I got an older brother James, and my brother has a sister who's a twin, Rachel. So
Yeah.
I was getting picked on the whole time. But looking back on it, I loved it so much. Just being around that, and the environment was so good. Like mum and dad, always warm, always welcoming. Just wanted me to have fun playing sports. So yeah, it was awesome.
Well, there was a carton of Tooheys at the game on Sunday. There was a whole bunch of your mob there.
Absolutely.
Had an awkward moment. Did you hear about it at all?
No.
Your sister was there, and I was kind of being introduced to people, and then she was standing next to a young man. I said, "Oh, you must be Alex's brother." Don't think it was your brother.
Wow.
I think it might have been her boyfriend or
Yeah,
something.
that would have been Sam.
She wanted to stab my eyes out. I can tell right now. I apologise as quickly as I couldn't get out of there. But boy, oh boy, I crossed the line with your sister. I can tell you. I know now what you tangled with when you were a kid.
That's very funny. No, Rachel would have found that so funny. And Sam,
She didn't show that.
yeah, no, that's that. I can imagine that. Sam, that's my sister's partner. He's
Right.
a legend. So my brother usually gets up, but I have all the height in the family, so I'm
Right.
very lucky in that sense. My brother is about 6'2", but he still plays a bit of a sharpshooter.
How's it? If you're where are you at on the scale? Like, if you're at
100
8, what's
kilos?
he? Is he a 4? What's he? Like, you know, one-on-one, you got him, or you're all over him. It's all over. It's done.
100%. Now at this point, but
Just down the barrel there.
yeah, 100% James, man. I don't even have to tell him. And then all his friends know as well. We'll be playing games with him, and his friends will be making fun of him because they know that I take him. But no, he was big. And growing up, I can't tell you how many times I used to cry in the backyard, like bawling my eyes out.
Tell us about it.
I used to think that I was like the man, like I'm gonna be an NBA player when I was 8 and my brother's like 6 years older than me. Just why can't I beat him? Like all this, all that. So man, there's some tough times. Mum having to console me in the backyard because I'm just used to lose my mind.
Are you the youngest, Jordi?
I'm the eldest. Can't you
You're
tell?
the eldest.
Yeah, you're the bully. You're the one that picks on the
Yeah,
I'm
others.
not
I'm
the
the youngest of
bully.
5.
I was a carer. I took care. I was everyone under my wing.
Yeah.
You've got a little brother?
2 little brothers and a little sister.
Did you dominate him on the court?
Well, everyone's a bit of an independent personality, so I think I started basketball late, but by that time I'd kind of carved that path, and so it's
Right.
like they're not going to walk
They didn't
that
follow
path.
you?
No.
You went your own way on the basketball.
They're all, doing much more impressive things than
Right.
throwing a ball in a hole. One's a
Okay.
doctor, one's a entrepreneurial mastermind. He was actually a great water polo player, but
Right.
he called it quits on the 4 a.m. wake ups And
Hard to make a big living out of water polo, I imagine.
not unless you're ready to move to Hungary or something like that.
So Toohey, what was it like getting your first check?
First check,
Yeah.
it was cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think
Did you tell me the truth? Tell us all the truth. Did you think these people are crazy? They paid me to play basketball.
Yeah, absolutely. I think anyone that plays basketball is such a privileged position, but to see it kind of there, it feels weird just knowing that, oh, like I can actually do stuff with this.
Yeah.
It was pretty cool. But
Did you blow it all on
Did you buy
Fortnite
something?
skins, or
Yeah,
what did you get?
do?
what did I buy? Oh,
You must have bought something. That shirt.
yeah.
That's
for
$5
sure.
at Lowe's.
Yeah. I think it was an Xbox. I think the first thing
Okay.
I bought was an Xbox. Yeah. I think that was, I played Xbox growing up and that sort of thing. And
You just
I
wanted
felt
your
like
own.
the right purchase. Yeah.
And so let's, projecting forward, life's, everything goes the way you want to go. You might find yourself in the association at some point.
Married, kids.
Yeah, let's
you
talk.
go.
Let's start with tattoos. Where are you going? What do you got planned?
My mother would behead me if I got a tattoo.
Ah, we're back in the military
Here
up
we
there.
go. Here we
Sorry,
go.
mum would love if I got a.
I don't know if you can say behead nowadays,
Oh.
but that's
So it'd be probably a mercy killing because it'd be a horrible death otherwise when she finally got hold of you.
Yeah.
So no ink. You're not going to go the ink route.
Hypothetically, let's
Oh.
say hypothetically, if I got a tattoo,
guillotine to your head. Where would you?
Yeah, you got to get it done. What do you got? Are you talking bicep? You talking?
I think
Leg?
probably somewhere hidden, like somewhere
Like chosen one on your back,
chosen
like Bron?
one.
Yeah.
Yeah. The
Okay.
chosen one, that'd be cool.
That would be
Maybe
cool.
I'll get a little crown, like a little Sydney Kings crown.
Yeah.
Wow.
And then we can just get all the players. Just
Yeah.
it can go right next to the Next Stars barcode on the back of my head.
Right up
You know
there.
that the Sydney Kings once upon a time were offered complimentary tattoos from none other than
Really?
Paul
The
Smith.
offer
This is a
stands.
true story.
The only-
Championship tats.
the only rule was that it had to be the hoops capital.
And it's got to be on the inside of the bicep, the
Yeah.
most painful place you can get it.
No takers yet?
Every single person got one.
I got one.
Oh,
Oh,
just
wow.
Smitty, actually.
I
You
got
actually have one?
Yeah, I got one.
Wow, I need to see this. I haven't seen
Yeah,
it.
take your shirt off.
Later. On Sunday at the game. I'll
So
show
it's
you.
solely just you.
When we first saw it, it was in the post-game song, and the shirt came off, and we were like,
Whoa.
"Oh my goodness!"
It was the biggest opening since the Harbour Bridge, mate.
Yeah.
When I
Yeah.
took that shirt off.
Wow.
Crazy. It's crazy stuff.
Does the podcast know about the song?
Not
Not the song itself, but
what we do in the locker room.
yeah.
I think generally there would be an awareness of the double clap Ric Flair at the end, but not the intricacies of the song or
Yeah.
how we change it up every week with a new rap.
Yeah.
But every week, when we win, I should
Would
say.
you call it a rap, Toohey?
It's a rhyme, maybe?
There's bars involved.
Yeah.
I'm actually thinking of reworking it a bit.
You've
Aria
you've
is
done
next
really
door.
well. It's rhymed, I think, every
Yeah.
week so far this year,
I've
which is
been
that's a good development.
I've been thinking about my lyrics. We're going to work on it. I'm going to come up with some stuff that's going to be. It could be an album. It could be
Yeah,
an
just
album.
you alone in a studio, just coming up with
No,
it.
the
Denzel
team,
will
it'll
come
be
in?
Sydney
team all
Kings,
together.
Sydney Kings together.
Sydney King's Christmas album.
Yeah.
Recorded in this studio.
Zell can be the creative muse.
Yeah, he'll
I would
love that.
say.
The
No,
Sydney
it's the way
Kings
to go.
winning songs.
So, mate, the other one I want to ask you about, and I know Jordy's got a bunch of stuff we're going to run through, but the COE, is it pressure there? Is there pressure to the Dyson Daniels, the Josh Greens, the guys that have gone before you, and there's many before that, of course, but the more recent ones, do you feel a sense of pressure to the guys that are there and the girls that are there, I guess, to want to get after it and they want to emulate that?
Yeah, I think there is a form of pressure, but I feel like from my time there, and I'm sure Jordi can comment, I think for me it was more of a opportunity to get there. It wasn't an entitlement to get there. I think there was so much more, at least for me there to get to that level. There are obviously some kids that are super talented, and that can probably do it with maybe less work. But I think for me, it was just a big thing of they worked so hard to get there. Why can't I do the same thing? So I think that is, I guess you can call that a pressure, being at that kind of level, and the people around you and the facilities you have access to. Maybe there was a pressure for you to succeed, but I think the pressure for me was kind of on myself to try and make it as far as I can and kind of make the program proud and hopefully be one of those names one day, just strive into that.
Besides me, who are the guys that players are looking up to or coaches are pointing to as examples of Australian basketball players that have paved the way or gone to college, NBA, NBL?
Yeah, obviously number one, Jordi Hunter.
Right.
Yep.
Yeah.
They also, it's cool. They put in the locker room. They have like a big wall up the top of all the NBA players they've had so far, and it says like who's next at the end. So it's a pretty cool touch they have. But the amount of names that get mentioned, I'm sure, not even the most high-profile names, but guys that were just good people, had great leadership skills, or the staff there will flip a button and just call out a name that people might not have heard of, but just kind of describe the legacy they left there. And
That's not why I mentioned. It's way more exciting.
What does he get mentioned for then?
he gets mentioned for the luscious looks.
Really?
Yeah.
Most attractive.
Yeah. Marty
See
Clark.
how
Marty Clark will be
Clark.
letting me know.
He was awful at
All
basketball,
right.
but boy, was he good looking.
We're in trouble here.
Oh,
That's
goodness.
huge trouble. Was it? And did you live in? Did you live in, or you say you got kicked out of home? You went and stayed there,
Yeah. So
In the pods?
the pods. Yeah.
right?
Where were you?
I was in GG66 was my first dorm. So that's the top level.
What colour?
Green.
Right.
Um,
Is that across the way, or is that first cab off the rank?
first cab off the rank.
When you walk down on the left side, going down, or on
down
the
on the
side?
right.
On the right.
So you go through the courtyard
yeah,
into
yeah.
there.
On the corner, the right corner.
Yeah, I had the best rooms at the bottom level because you can get anywhere quickly.
Yeah.
When you're in danger.
That's right.
Yeah, safety.
Fire. There's a fire.
Safety.
Get out.
But when we had a ground floor one time, we had COVID was going on, so we weren't allowed to go to the actual courts. So we set up we taped a laundry basket to one of the balconies, and then from the ground floor we played basketball in this like tiny 10 feet by 10 feet little
With
courtyard.
masks on.
With masks on, we played
That's good. It was
basketball
safe
against
then.
each
With the
other.
coaches or like the...
Just us.
Yeah.
Just the players isolating, but yeah, we had.
Oh,
some
you
good
had
times.
COVID, like the group had
No.
COVID.
COVID was spreading. We didn't have any
Oh,
COVID
okay.
amongst us.
How was the relationship with the other sports back then? Was good.
Anyone there?
Yeah, it's not
Volleyball?
like I heard Bogut and stuff saying that there were so many different sports there. It's not so much like that. There are a bunch of volleyballers, and there's some tension from what I remember between the basketballers and the volleyballers.
Really?
Romantic tension or...
Bad tension.
Right.
Yeah,
Is that right?
yeah.
That's dope.
But I think that's good. I think that's good having a competitive environment. I thought it brought the boys closer together.
Yeah.
The academy having something to unite against is
Is
dislike.
it volleyball? Is
That's
that
volleyball's had it
Yeah,
coming
is,
to
there,
it.
is, there,
man.
is there a natural antipathy between volleyball and basketball generally?
Do they just want to be basketballers and we just want to
Yeah.
be volleyballers, or...
Maybe that's the subconscious thing.
Yeah.
I feel like there's just, if you ask a normal person, would you rather be an NBA player or a pro volleyball player? I feel like they might lean one way or the other.
Yeah,
we're
true.
not. We're not. This is not helping our volleyball audience growth.
No, we just
I'll
lost
tell you that right
Volleyball
now.
Australia
Oh,
sponsorship. Man, that'll get you. I was second floor red. So down the main hallway,
Yeah.
opposite dining hall.
What high school did you go to?
So I went to Marist in Canberra before Lake G, and then I went to Lake G.
All right, so you got kicked out of Marist as well.
Yeah, had to move. I wanted to stay there, but the time driving between the academy and
It's Canberra, mate. It's about 15 minutes.
that's
Come
what I
on,
mean.
Come on.
15 minutes, and then now here having to drive 40 minutes is very different.
Right.
I wasn't. I'd graduated high school when I went down there, so I was actually the guy doing the school drop-offs in the morning.
That's sick.
Yeah, I
Were
had
you?
I had to drive the van, drop all the kids at Lake G, say, "Have a good day,
Your
everybody,"
teammates?
giving them their packed lunch. Yeah, my teammates.
That's the best.
Mummy
job.
loves you.
I lived on campus there in 85, 84, 86 and 87.
Right.
I was back then there was everyone was there. There was
Oh, that's when
all the
Bogues was
sports
there.
were there.
In the 80s.
Yeah, so
Got
I
him.
was there. I was studying at UC, or the old CCAE then, Canberra College of Advanced Education, and I got a job at the AIS, and it was just heavily populated with athletes. It was all the sports were there really, netball, basketball, swimming, soccer was there. It was really
Any Olympic sport.
It was the big tension was athletics.
Between
The
athletics
athletics
and
and everyone else.
Ooh.
And everyone else. And the ringleader was a bloke called David Colbert.
Oh, damn.
He was a class A troublemaker, that fella. Terrific bloke, but back then he was a bit of a troublemaker.
Could run a mean
But it was
400.
they called
Good
themselves.
Boy, was he mean.
They said they were the true athletes, and everyone else were real athletes. Because they were athletics, you know. So yeah, I've seen firsthand the politics of youth in a living environment like
That's
that.
a bit of an oversimplified opinion, I think.
I think well, but he believed it when he said it, so that's important. That's really, really important.
Where is he now?
No?
Where is he now?
Dave's done all right. He's got a sort of a media career and
Jokes on
funny
me.
fella and calls Olympics and athletics. Still believes, I think.
Now the real sportsman doing the 4x1.
Yeah. And so, mate, tell us about if you have a dream destination in the NBA, what team would it be?
Ooh. Do you want location and fit or just everything?
Oh, you know, who's your NBA team? Who've you always loved? What was it?
Supersonics.
Yeah, that's a good question. I didn't really have a team. I used to change, but the first team was probably the Clippers with
Really?
yeah, when Blake Griffin was throwing down all those lobs
So
and
fire.
stuff, man.
Jumping over Kias
that
and
was
stuff like
He was my
that.
favorite player when he was there, like in the whole NBA.
how sick.
I used to wear his shoes,
Yeah.
the Superflies.
Mhm.
They were about to blow it up probably, man, so you can
Yeah.
maybe slot right in there.
Yeah.
Oh, well, we had the
absolutely.
GM of the Clips in here yesterday, I think. Was it training?
That was for me, not for Toohey.
Yeah,
Yeah.
we weren't. They are.
Blake
they're
Griffin
talking about-
replacement.
Yeah.
Whoop.
I've warned that bloke off. I've said, don't come near my boy Toohey. We're not having that. Not having that.
He wants to be a Sydney King, not a stupid Clipper.
What? So you're 19. So you're another 3 years of eligibility for the draft, right?
I think something like
Good.
that.
We'll enjoy that having you here. That. Thanks, thank you.
The documents I'm about to sign.
We'll pay you in an
Daniel
education.
Volderman's going to ring me in about 15 minutes.
Yeah.
How do you look into that? Like there's so much turnover in that league. How do you sit back and go, all right, where am I going to fit in? Where am I going to have opportunity right away or opportunity to grow? And how do you even sift through that?
Yeah, it's hard. It's like the NBA, basketball in general is growing so much. The NBA, you can see just how much it grows each year. Same with the NBL here. I think, like as a young kid, you just think, oh, I'm going to be the best player on this team wherever I go when you're young. And then you realize the chances of getting there aren't as high, and then you realize what you got to do to get in there. And if you get in there, you're probably not going to have the ball in your hands straight away. You got to find your ways to influence the game. So I think maybe subconsciously that's kind of a part of my game is if I don't have the ball in my hands, how can I help kind of influence winning and help the team in that sense? So I think in that sense, I'd see myself fitting in as kind of like a shooter. I think you got to be able to shoot to play in the NBA. So being able to stretch out the defense and then being able to play off the closeout. So if I do get a catch, being able to go straight away and not necessarily having to use 100 moves to get by someone, but be able to use my size and just finish over the top of people, go through some people. But
You'll go where LeBron goes.
I'll go where LeBron goes. Me, Bronny, and LeBron
And
James.
Daddy.
The boys.
Yeah.
I guess ultimately someone gives you a buzz and you don't go, oh, sorry, mate. I was actually kind of waiting on a
Yeah.
call from LeBron,
Yeah.
but thanks for the offer.
Yeah.
It's it's a beggars can't be choosers arrangement
Yeah. Unless the Sydney Kings, of course, come back into the picture.
and match.
You
Yeah.
never know. You
Match
never
the
know,
offer.
mate. You never know.
Show
We're
him the
working
money.
on it, man. We're working on it. We're working on it. Look, it's all great part of the process you're involved in, but it's a journey, man. You know, it's a really tough road you're starting, and hopefully this is a real good lay down to get into that mode. Bloody, mate, it's sports a wild ride. It's a wild ride at many levels. So it's you hang on to your hat, your bridge climb hat.
Yeah. Hang on.
Strap
Clip
it
it
on.
on.
Strap it on because it's going to be a wild one. I can tell you right now. So how are you feeling about the year coming up, the season coming up? You're all right. You reckon we're tracking okay?
Yeah, feeling good. I think obviously each game matters, but I think the biggest thing is regardless of the result, I think just the learning from each game and mood. Our coach is big on we should be the best team at the end of the season when the game's really on the line. So obviously got to win the games to put ourselves in the position to succeed there. But when it gets down to those few grand final, semi-final games, that's when you really got to be at your best. And everything before that, when you get to that point, is null and void.
All right. Now, mate, every week we have a little bit of a ask for an envelope. We'll read a question. What number would you like today?
That was a long intro from us.
It was. We got there.
Wow. Yeah.
Pick a number.
3.
3.
Yeah.
Okay.
Great choice. Well, they're in front of you, mate. So just why don't you just grab it?
Number 3. Get number 3, and you can read. If you can read, we'd welcome you to read the question.
I dropped
please.
number 1, but that's fine.
That's okay.
What would you do if you didn't play basketball?
That's a great question.
Who thought of that?
It's a good question.
You'd be a
And
Stop
it's
into
a real
it?
question. You can answer
Yeah,
it.
just stop in it. Oh,
No, answer it.
Oh,
Would you be in the military?
maybe. Maybe I'd go to a US military basketball school,
Right.
like Army.
Like West Point or something.
Is that the
like
end of
I
it?
think that's actually the thing.
It's the
Is
end
it-
of the
is
list.
West Point's
Yeah.
West Point's a officers' school, right?
Yeah.
I don't think it's a
You come out with a
yeah. Army, Navy, or would you go Army, Navy, or Air Force?
Army.
Army.
Yeah.
scared of heights.
Scared of heights.
Scared of
the
drowning.
bridge. Yeah. But no, I'd probably do something in sports. I'd probably be a cricket player, I'd say.
Cricketer.
Bit of a first love there, isn't it?
Yeah. Absolutely.
And what was your shtick in cricket? What was your bowler batter?
Fast bowler.
Fast
Fast
Whoa.
bowler. Fast. Put it in there.
Chin music.
Yeah. Bowling beamers at people.
Couldn't bat
bounces.
for anything.
I could bat at a junior level, but that was when everyone did everything.
Oh.
Everyone's an all-rounder.
Yeah, I could see myself maybe a bit of a Cam Green kind of.
He's my favorite. He's my favorite.
Really?
Man. Big fella as well.
Yeah.
Cam Green. Cricketers are big nowadays. You know, apart from Dave Warner. All
Yeah.
respects to Dave, but you
Yeah.
know, they're all sizes. But yeah, the bowlers are big boys. They're
Yeah.
big fellas. Yeah.
Mitchell Stark.
Is your ass big enough? Because that's the feature of a
Show us.
cricketer.
Yeah.
The
Cut that.
fast bowlers have big butts. That seems to be what I
Yeah,
always
big
used to
glutes,
understand. Yeah, you
big
got to have
glutes.
big rear.
Just writing down. Who is your favorite? Your favorite.
My
Pro
favourite cricketer?
dumper.
Yeah.
I'm old,
Yeah.
so DK Lilly
Yeah.
is my probably childhood hero.
You know him as
Um,
DK.
No, I didn't know. I've never met the bloke actually. I've never met Dennis Lilly. DK Lilly, loved him. Yeah, I'd say Lilly was my. Yeah, who didn't love Dennis Lilly? The moustache, the whole thing, the hair on the chest,
Yeah.
the whole look. You know, different scene back then, but yeah, pretty wild times for
When
cricket.
men were men.
World
Cut that as
Series
well.
cricket, all that sort of stuff. Yeah. Who was? So there was. So who's your favourite cricketer?
My favorite cricketer is either Michael Clark or Mitchell Johnson.
Really?
Yeah.
Mitch Johnson has some
Mitch Johnson with the handlebars. 2013-14.
Really?
Firing them
tore
down.
England's heart out.
Man.
Awesome.
I was read the other day. I didn't read the other day. I sort of remember reading a story about there was a Australian soccer player called Christian Vieri. Grew up here in Sydney in Bankstown, but ended up playing his entire career in Italy and Europe and had a massive career. I think I might be wrong, but I think he might have actually played for Italy in the World Cup. I don't think he played for Australia. I think.
Yeah.
I could stand corrected, but I remember reading the story that he was being interviewed on Italian television once about, you know, his life and, you know, probably back then it was like a pod, I guess. But and they said, who's his favourite sportsman? He said, Alan Border.
Wow.
He's Italian.
They had no
Italian
idea
broker.
who
What
it
are you
was.
talking
Okay.
about? Didn't
Yeah.
know. Never heard of him. So,
Yeah.
so it's when cricket gets in you, and you know it's hard to get it out of your blood. It's, you know, as much as we're a summer sport with the NBL, I do secretly watch a little bit of cricket. I do enjoy it.
When did you slow up on the cricket?
Yeah.
As basketball took off?
Yeah. Kind of around the first Oz camp. I think I was 13 or 14.
During COVID.
Yeah.
Did your cricket coach get upset?
There was like an academy in New South Wales that was probably the next step they would have taken. I'm not sure what that means, just playing for them
Yeah.
or something, but I don't think so. I think Dad was a bit upset because Dad loves cricket and Dad thought
Right.
I was going to be his go-to cricketer, but
Yeah.
he's all right. He's just figuring out the basketball thing. As we
He's
speak.
all right. I think your old man's
And your
okay with it
relationship
now.
in the aftermath.
Yeah,
of cricket.
after not playing cricket, he's still, nah, I love you,
Piecing it
Dad.
together.
Yeah.
Down the barrel.
They get around.
man,
They
I
follow
love
you
you
around, don't they? They get around to a lot of games.
Yeah, Mum and Dad, they've been up and about. Dad, this is a story about the shirt. Dad, he told me before last game, or when he last lost, he said he's got to start wearing his Hawaiian shirt, and we haven't, because we used to win whenever he wore it, and now he got back on it, and we've started playing well.
You tell him to keep wearing it,
Yeah,
please.
told him to keep wearing
I
it.
wonder how many people in the crowd have some sort of weird
Superstition?
superstition.
Oh.
Like every time I paint my toenails, we get this done.
Yeah.
What about you two? You must be superstitious.
I'm a little
Little
stitious.
stitches, yeah.
What's your-
Hey, respect.
What's your little stish?
I am listening to the same songs when I get in the car
Right.
to the game. That feels pretty boring though. That's pretty standard.
The same songs every week, or you've got a set playlist for that week?
No, every game. No, there's 3 songs, and the drive from my place to
Do you know the
Kudos
songs?
is about 40 minutes. Do I know the songs that I've listened to before every game?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think you do.
Yeah,
Wait,
I'll-
is it like a secret if you
just
tell
give me a
us, or-
second. No.
Mm,
I start off with "Working Class Man" by Jimmy Barnes.
Cold Chisel.
Cold Chisel.
Love that.
Heard of him?
I don't know who Jimmy Barnes
You
is.
kidding me?
No,
Oh
no,
my God.
I don't know what the song is, but I know who Jimmy
Yeah,
Barnes
would've been
is.
crazy.
Then I'm out. I'm out.
COVID.
God.
And then I hit "Stairway to Heaven" by Led Zeppelin.
Right.
And then I hit a more obscure Fleetwood song called "Silver Springs," which is my favorite song ever. And then it's kind of a mixed bag of whatever I'm kind of vibing, kind of picking 6 or 7 songs from the same bag of 10.
So that's your favourite song ever?
Yep.
What about you, Toohey? Superstitious. Superstition if you have one. It's cool not to. And favourite music song. What do you got?
My superstition would probably be I always have to take my right ankle before I take my left.
Okay.
And then there's just like little things like if I go to the bathroom, if I flush, like do I have to flush or not flush or like all this random.
That's you. That's been leaving those big.
I don't think this is helping your draft stock.
Yeah, cut that.
Alex Toohey plummets, leaves poos in
He's
toilets.
now out to 404.
Yeah.
You should shut up.
But when like the most random stuff, like as I'm walking, if I have this before a game, if I have that before a game, I don't want to get to the glove level of glove has to have like
Madness.
a meal, a
Madness.
certain
Yeah,
meal.
crazy. He's crazy.
Yeah, he takes it too far, but
Yeah.
I just like every time I think I'm like, if I do this, will I play well tonight? Or if I do
Right.
this,
So you're still looking for superstitions. So if you find something that works, you'll stick with it.
yeah, but I'm trying to not because I'm trying to just be like, no matter what happens
Right.
I do on the day, it won't affect how I play because we did all this training, blah blah. But it's hard not to think.
Blah blah blah.
It's hard not to
take my right
yeah.
ankle first.
It's hard not to let him take my right ankle. I mean, the superstition just naturally comes for me. I feel.
And you tape yourself. You're a self starter there.
yeah.
Hey, guys
Really?
yeah.
You don't let the physios get hold of you? You do it yourself.
Sometimes
That's not an anti-physio statement, right? It's
No. Love
just a-
love Dave, our physio.
Yeah.
But yeah, sometimes I'll tape. Sometimes I let them tape. But I think when I let them tape, I play bad, so I didn't let them tape it since then. So
Righto.
self
Keep doing it, mate. I don't care.
I found when I tape myself, I throw my back out. I see you doubled over, like with a foot up on the chair and your low back, and it's just
That's
like,
right.
got to lie down.
Yeah.
Arm spread.
Oh, I think everyone has it. My one right now is I'm parking in a particular spot.
What number? I'll take it next game.
I'm not telling you,
Dude.
but no,
I do
park-
see the numbers when I come in. I'm like,
should
that's
I?
my mum's birthday. Oh, that's a good even number. I do think
Nah,
that.
it's just a location. I drive right in underneath. I don't park out in the open area. I go right back deep inside the parking area and park right at the end.
So
and
no one can hear you when you cry.
Yeah, there's a bit of that, but or scream, or if necessary. But no, that's where I'm at right now. But we have a seating arrangement where we sit. Chris Pongrass has to sit next to me, and real trouble if that doesn't happen. He had COVID last year, or when that was all happening, and he missed a game, and it was weird not having my boy with me and just riding it out together, complaining to each other. So it's that's probably about the full extent of my madness at the moment. But there's more to come.
And favorite song?
Favorite song?
Two quite disparate questions.
No,
James.
that's cool. My all-time favorite song would be a song by Van Morrison called "Into the Mystic,"
Nice, that's a banger.
which has got one of the great lyrics in music, in my view. And at one point, he rips in with, "I want to rock your gypsy soul." What a love song! What a love song! What a way.
That sounds
to
like
live
it's
it.
about Stevie Nicks.
Yeah, wherever it was, and a place where I used to live in Sydney had a view of the water, and there was a yacht moored out in the middle of the thing called Gypsy Soul was the name of the boat.
There you go. Probably a
So,
little shout out.
Serendipity, at its best.
We didn't get yours. What was your favorite song?
Yeah, music and song, please.
Baby Shark.
Ooh, Sweet Child of Mine,
Whoa.
Really?
Can you give us a few bars?
or Careless Whisper.
Bro,
Careless
what?
Whisper?
Yeah, no, there's one part of the song that's just so sick.
Is this the original version or a
No,
mashup?
the original version. George
Careless
Michael, right?
Whisper.
Yeah.
Dude. I'm happy for you.
Thank
Right.
you.
Okay.
I think we should.
Careless
Yeah.
Whisper.
Don't you
Careless
reckon?
Whisper.
How do you go from Sweet Child of Mine to Careless Whisper?
How do you go to either? Why are you rocking some hip hop or something like that? Or
I feel like sometimes I get too hyped that I feel like the hype's fake. verse to just the passion.
Oh, this
of the
is
other.
game day song. Or
that's
favorite
deep,
song
bro.
ever?
That's legit.
That was a
Oh.
bar, dude. I'm gonna write that down.
I
Too
thought you were
hard.
agreeing with me, saying that it's fake hype. It's not the real thing.
Oh, sometimes if I listen to Money for Nothing, sometimes ends up in the rotation.
Yeah.
The start of that song when the guitar comes
Yeah,
in,
that was at our
I'll have like
ring
full,
presentation.
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
I
yeah.
got goosebumps.
Yeah.
I'll have full. I'm just driving like half an hour from the stadium, like full goosebumps, ready to run through a brick wall.
Oh,
Like I better ease into this a little bit more
Yeah.
than I'm peaking right now.
yeah.
By the time I get to the game, I'm like too tired. Need
Yeah.
more dire straits.
Hey, what was it like when Mood told you going to start first game? What was that? Did that feel like?
Yeah, it was cool. It was in training and stuff. Like you can think about it like the teams that they put on and the one team versus the other team. You can look at it like that. But I kind of figured that no matter what team I was on, it's all depends what he thinks on the day. And luckily enough, got the opportunity to start my first game, which was big. And then, yeah, I think just the fact that came from training and then he felt confident enough to put me out there it felt special.
Oh, that's great. Well, we're lucky here. We have two sponsors. We have Harvey Norman and Road. If you're not aware, did I throw that in there? Just to poke that in, just to say, look, follow through.
Absolutely.
I think we brought it from the top.
We did.
We
What's
haven't forgotten about
What's
our
the
great
Instagram
sponsors.
handle? What is it?
It is a great way to keep in touch with this podcast of ours. Besides sliding into Toohey's DMs with these with your feedback, you can follow us on Instagram at Hoops Capital Pod. It's a great follow.
Hoops Capital Pod.
And find us on socials if you want to stay up to date with all this nonsense. And we have a bit of a gimmick to finish off here, a bit of a starting five for you, Toohey. This is off the cuff, so sorry if it's too deep catalog for you to unpack on the spot. But we want to, not your top five, you're building a starting five basketball team, roles and everything for your point guard through center.
Ugh.
And your topic is an easy one. It's Australian cricket scandals.
Ooh, that's a good one. 'Cause
That's
there's
a-
a lot of them.
There's
a lot of them going
It's a
around.
deep catalog.
Yeah.
But I need you.
Sandpaper Gate.
Yeah.
You got, what else you got?
Well, that's a good place to start. What?
Yeah.
Yeah, where does
Ooh,
World Series?
okay.
Where's Sandpaper Gate sit?
I feel like point guard, you got to run the team. So I think you got to set the tone of the team, and I think it's the biggest scandal in Australian cricket. I think.
It involves the guys running the team. They all lost their.
Yeah.
were stripped.
true,
It's
they
almost
were
anti-point
technically
guard.
guards. Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Point guard, Sandpaper Gate,
Right.
All right.
big thing, big drama. But I think set the tone. The captain's obviously at the time made the wrong decision, but I think Steve Smith obviously redeemed himself.
You reckon?
I
But
reckon.
not David Warner.
Dave Warner as well with this ODI. He's been good. I think they've redeemed themselves. And then shooting guard,
Knockdown shooter.
knockdown shooter.
Versatile. Maybe even guarding the opposition's point guard.
Ooh, okay. I go interesting. I'm gonna go the underarm ball because
yes.
they did it once and it was 100% effective. So
It
It's
worked.
knockdown, and it's still coming up as well.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
That's a big one.
That's a great choice.
I didn't. I just. That's amazing.
That's a great
I
front
just
court.
recalled that. Yeah. Well, how could you forget it, really? But it didn't spring to
Backcourt,
mind.
Yeah.
I was caught up in Sandpaper Gate. Did they really ever think? Like, what were they thinking? Like,
they were
no
trying
one's
to
gonna
they were
notice?
trying to revolutionize the game.
Well, they certainly did that.
Yeah, they struck a chord.
All right, so we got 2 down, 3 to go. What do you think?
Number 3, a recent one, the stumping of Johnny Bairstow.
That's versatile.
Yeah.
As your 3-man.
Yeah.
That's
That-
brilliant.
that will live
Because it
on.
can go both ways. It can go
Correct.
offensive, and then we got to defend our team for doing
3-and-D.
the right thing.
Yeah,
Yeah, that's very, very good.
that was iconic. That was a great.
Excellent.
I just can't believe the Poms were so upset, and then the day after there were videos of Johnny Bairstow doing the exact same thing.
It hurt. It hurt his case a little bit.
Yeah,
Yeah.
crazy.
Yeah, well, let's never let hypocrisy get in the way of a good story.
Yeah.
So we'll go with that.
What's a 4-man these days?
I'm
They're
gonna
also
go,
a bit versatile. Bit of guard skills, bit of big skills.
yeah, I'm gonna
stretch the
go
floor.
controversial because I think people just aren't sure what a 4-man is today. So
Great answer.
I'm gonna go Murley, way back when he chucked it.
The chucking,
Yeah.
yeah. Or the claim he chucked
Chucking.
it. Yeah.
But we're not sure if he chucked it or if
Yeah.
he bowled it. So what is a 4-man? Are they big? Are they a guard? Are they?
This is
Wow.
the best. This is the best five spot we've ever put together.
It's
Yeah.
Unbelievable.
it's going really well. We'll bring it
Yeah.
home for us with your glue guy, a little bit of everything, 5-man. What Australian cricket scandal just ticks all the boxes?
The Michael Clark
Yeah.
and Carl Stefanovis. Noosa. Because you want a big man that can bang down low, can get into it, can throw some weight around. Michael Clark was looking pretty buff in the video, shirt off. He was,
Swollen.
man, Pup. Pup has changed a few years.
Pup's on air in Sydney. They're a big supporter of ours.
I love
big
Pup.
supporter.
Man,
Yeah.
is he
You
actually
got to
a
get
fan?
him
I
on.
love Michael Clark.
Look, let's get this organised. You're going on the show. You got to get on Pup's show.
I had Michael Clark's, like when he had the pink handle when he hit 300 or something in
Right.
Sydney. I replicated that so mad. Like, the pink handle with no stickers on the bat. Man, I love that.
How did